TikToks. Are you allowed to open up the
No.
video? If I send you a TikTok on WhatsApp,
I've
can you
never
open it
tried
up?
that. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm
That's
done.
fine.
I'm done watching one ad on CapCut. See how long that took? And now I have to watch 6 more. Annoying.
Like you have to watch the whole ad?
The whole ad. And so
Let me open mine.
well, see if it happens for you,
ads.
because this is annoying. Instagram, I might end up having to go back to Instagram because Instagram is going to, they've already unveiled their new editor. And I believe it's called Edits. And it's going to drop sometime in February. And if CapCut keeps making me have to do this, because I haven't paid for the professional, the pro version. I'm using the free. And you're getting the ads, right?
About. So what happened was I force closed it, and then now it's popping up saying watch 7 ads in order to unlock CapCut.
Yep. 7 ads.
But when you start on your project, does it ask or does it pop up?
No.
Okay.
While you're working on a project, no. But when you close, don't force quit.
Yeah.
Keep it open, right? And just scroll
and then
up.
Go back. Yeah.
Don't force quit. Don't turn off your phone. Otherwise, you're going to be forced to watch again 7 more ads. And so while we've been talking, I've watched 2 ads.
What?
Yeah.
How long are these
I am
ads?
on my third
1
one.
minute?
Practically.
That's crazy.
I'm on my 3rd app right now. So it's pretty annoying. So we'll see how this Instagram edits works, right? And I might just have to join. Oh.
Yeah, but theirs have a limit.
Which one?
Instagram.
Has a limit?
You're editing reels?
Oh, no, this is a new one. It's separate from
separate
Instagram.
from Instagram?
They're basically doing their own CapCut.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
their own editor.
I'll look at it now.
Well, you can't. You can definitely Google it and you can get more information on it, but it's not available yet until February.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like them and the CIA are working together to what is it? Make TikTok look bad, so I have to be forced onto Instagram. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that is what has happened. Mark Zuckerberg is an informant with the CIA. Let's see here. GPA, right? Is our power bill going to go up or what? So Senator Will Parkinson is concerned. He's concerned about what he's calling mixed messages from GPA and its potential impact on our power rates, right? So he sent a letter to the general manager of GPA, John Beneventi. And so he shared some discrepancies between GPA's recent public statements and the Public Utilities Commission's fiscal year 2024 annual report, with the PUC's report suggesting that GPA intends to file for a rate increase in February of 2025. While GPA has been advocating for a LEAC reduction, that's the Levelized Energy Adjustment Clause, which would lower energy costs for residents by an average of $53 per month, $53.16 to be exact. And so that's kind of where Parkinson is with the letter, right? He's a little confused about this conflicting information. It may cause for consumers and lawmakers, regulators, and particularly of the ongoing financial challenges faced by ratepayers. So he requested clarification from GPA on its intentions regarding both the LEAC reduction and the potential base rate increase. And so there's a response that came out today from GPA addressing these concerns that the Senator Will Parkinson penned. And so they explain that there is no contradiction between the LEAC reduction and the potential base rate increase. GPA clarified that the LEAC reduction, which is currently being reviewed by the PUC, is a separate matter from the anticipated base rate filing. And GPA's petition for a LEAC reduction seeks to lower the fuel surcharge from 26 cents to 20 cents. And if you want to we're not going to be exact there because it's 26 and then 19995, whatever. Okay. So from 26 cents to 20 cents per kilowatt hour, which would result in an average savings of $53.19 for residential customers. This adjustment, if approved, would take effect February 1st. That's what Simon Sanchez was saying. It's like, hold up. All we got to do is hold on. I remember him having a number of conversations with Patty Arroyo, right? Because when we get to February, you should start seeing a savings. And he was throwing out that number, $53.19. So regarding the base rate, GPA confirmed that it does intend to seek a rate increase later in the year to address the rising debt service associated with the Ukadu power plant, which is expected to come online in September of 2025, if all goes well. And so the base rate covers costs related to utility upgrades, maintenance, operations, and debt service. While the base rate increase is anticipated, GPA in the letter or in response to Senator Parkinson explained that the savings from the LEAC reduction and operational efficiencies such as the decommissioning of older power plants would offset the impact of the base rate increase, leading to overall cost reductions for customers. GPA also provided additional information in their response to Senator Will Parkinson regarding its long-term energy strategy, stating that Ukadu Power Plant, a new 198 megawatt combined cycle plant, is expected to reduce Guam's reliance on imported oil by approximately 879,000 barrels a year, which would lead to more fuel cost savings. And so the GPA emphasized its commitment to expanding renewable energy projects such as solar and battery storage, which would again further stabilize energy prices and reduce reliance on imported fuel. So there's that. And then I don't know if the president of the Mayor's Council of Guam is calling in. And I reached out to the mayor. I wasn't sure if we were going to get him on, but I'm glad that he called in. Hafa Adai, Mr. President.
Hafa Adai. Well, wow. I just looked at my phone and I thought, well, I better hurry up and call.
Well, I'm glad you did. I appreciate it. You guys had another meeting in January. Wow, two meetings in 1 month.
Right? Well, we got to get business done, and we have a slew of new mayors and vice mayors, so there's so much that they need to kind of get used to. So we needed to get it going, and then our next meeting is February 5th, so it's just around the corner.
Around the corner, yeah. I appreciated the meeting because I saw like even more people were participating. Not that mayors aren't participating in the past, but definitely heard new voices and saw new faces. Right, obviously the new mayors that are part of your council, and they were chiming in, and I have to say I was impressed because they are on the ball. They understand the concerns of their residents.
Yeah, and I'm glad that there's still a diversity, and there's still the everyone's opinion that I think is necessary in making any of the decisions that we have to make. But of course, it's really trying to understand the issues at hand first, and then of course forming their decisions. I think, and I never like to set the tone for them, or
Sure.
I just want to present the facts,
Sure.
right? And then let them decide, either way how they're gonna vote, or how they're going to, decide on any of these decisions. And then, of course, the one thing that was, I guess, a longer topic of discussion was this grass maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it was I did not want them to think that we were coming in trying to solve someone's problems,
Right.
because we have problems of our own. But it was more just trying to get them ahead of the game so that they're not caught off guard when someone calls them and says, "Hey, can you cut my lawn?" They're
Well,
thinking,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh, now we have to do it. How do we do it when we're already short manpower, we're short gas, we're short supplies?" So I really wanted that discussion to happen so that they know that it's not anything new, and that they just have to be prepared for an answer either way. Right?
Yeah. We're talking about the cutting grass at the school campuses, and you framed it pretty well, I thought. Like, you're saying, you know what? GDOE is going to be coming to you, and they're going to be like, "Hey, mayor, new mayor. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. By the way, can you cut the grass?"
They always helped us in the past. And, we want to know when you're going to cut the grass.
Yeah. Yeah. When it's not the responsibility of the mayor.
Right. It's not. And I know whether it ruffles people's feathers or not, it's not. I mean, it's the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, it isn't our responsibility, but yet we have to figure out a way
Sure.
to solve the problem when it comes our way.
Yeah.
And like some of them said, man, everyone gets a budget,
Mm-hmm.
so work within your budget, right? I mean, we have to do that. I mean, who do we run to when we need help? We can't run to anybody else because everybody runs to us.
Mayor Wayne Santos, he made me laugh too, because he's brand new, right? Mayor of Order Chalampago. And he said, I have to explain to people already that I have an $8,000 budget left. I only have $8,000 more dollars for the rest of the year for my gas budget. And we're 22 days into the year. He just
what's funny?
the seat's not even warm at his office.
It's what's so funny about him, and maybe some of the others, is they've come from an organization that has way more money than we do. I'm sure their operations budget was way more than $8,000 for the fiscal year, right? So you kind of have to laugh a little bit about coming in. And so I'm like, okay, so now do you get it?
Yeah.
Now do you get why this is thankless in many ways, and we have to be the most creative people in our work, in our line of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one too that made me laugh was I think it was BJ Terlai, the mayor of Zotnya, when they're trying to figure out who could chair the Liberation Parade, right, and the festivities. And he asked, "So what's our budget?" And he said, "None. There's nothing." And he's like, "Okay, never mind. I won't volunteer."
I'm telling you, everyone thinks, "Oh, go to them because they have all this money." There's no money. So after the meeting, we talk, and it's like, "Gosh, so you don't have how do you guys do it?" I'm like, "Well, that's what we're saying is we got to figure out a way. We have to find the money to do it, and that's just how it is." So
right.
that's it, right? And he is amazed by it. I think he's going to be okay. He's gonna help us out.
Oh, I believe so, because I'm a firm believer of there are no wrong answers or dumb solutions, right? And he was throwing out some solutions, especially when we're talking about the revolving recycling fund and abandoned vehicles, and he's concerned as well. And he said, "You know what? Why aren't the car dealerships taking some kind of responsibility, or maybe the responsibility can be on them to address the abandoned vehicles," right? And so I was thinking about that, and again, no dumb solutions and whatnot. But as somebody that pays, I have 3 vehicles and has to pay registration every year, and I'm looking at the registration and I'm paying. like $36, I believe, for the revolving recycling fund, and that is for that. Some of that money goes towards abandoned vehicles, and
Right.
so is that? So my first question is that enough? Do we have to go back and look at that fee and because of the crisis we're in with abandoned vehicles, raise the fee?
Well, I'm not a fan of raising the fees, but
Sure.
when you think about it, I mean, if let's just say you take this $30, right, and what is the lifespan of a vehicle, if you just go with what is an auto loan these days? I don't know. Is it 3-4 years, or is it something like that? 5 years, maybe.
It can be
For-
6 years,
right, it
for
can be,
some, yeah.
Right. So let's just say, even if it was, well, heck, let's just say 10 years, right? And at that estimate, that a car would last 10 years, and if you paid $30 for 10 years, that's $300. It costs us $650 to remove and to dispose of the vehicle.
Yeah. My bad. Recycling is 25. I just picked up my It's 25. So 25.
So there you go.
might-
I mean, it would even be less.
It would be less, right? And so, do you mind, because we finally figured out how to bring somebody into the conversation, do you mind taking a call from Joe? He wants to talk about abandoned vehicles and grass cutting. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure,
all
sure,
right.
Sure.
So this is one of our listeners that calls in, and I want to say this is the first time we're able to do. This is the very first time we're capable to do
Yay!
this. So it's a milestone for us. All right.
Cool.
Hafa Adai, Joe.
Hey, Pauly, I'm glad we finally figured a way how to get on.
We
back
figured
online.
it out. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
You are the man.
It's not
Yeah,
me. It's not me. It's Kyle. Kyle just kind of gave us more training.
All right. So I have you and Mayor Alec
Yes,
on the line. So
yes,
here-
go
and
for
you
it.
guys are talking about grass cutting for
Go.
the schools, and then you're talking about abandoned vehicles.
Yes.
So first one for the mayor is grass cutting. So if I understand this correct, GDOE has passed this off to the mayors of the villages. Is that correct?
We didn't figure it out.
Oh no.
Did we
Okay,
lose the
I
mayor?
think we did lose mayor.
Oh, here I was celebrating.
Oh, man, me too, Pauly.
Yeah. I
Okay,
thought-
but Pauly, do you
yeah.
know that answer? Did
Let
the
me try
GDOE
calling him.
actually
Okay.
put the
So,
onus on the mayors?
well, no, it is the responsibility of GDOE, right? Now, there are like MOUs or unofficial, right? And of course, mayors want to do the right. They want to do right by the students. It's all about the kids. And so if
Right.
they're traditionally, it's the mayors that are going to cut the grass, then they're hoping that can continue on. So the reality is, though, just like what Mayor Alex said, is all the mayors have their own budgets, and they all have individual budgets, right? Split up amongst
Correct.
the 19. And some are even smaller budgets than some of the others. But the ones that are larger, like Dededo, well, they've got more schools within their jurisdiction. GDOE
Right.
has the biggest budget. And so the question remains, you are the agency with the biggest budget.
So
Wha-
why not? So a second part question of this will be, our suggestion was, if GDOE has the largest budget and the mayors can do it only based on manpower, not financially, but in manpower, why can't GDOE provide the mayors with
the
the
gas,
funding?
the gas,
Exactly.
and maybe even the resources, and bring
That's
it over.
correct.
Yeah,
And
that
then-
is a conversation.
And then a topic for mayors that's always been bad. You guys always like Mayor Alec. I heard him bring it up before, and it's not even his village. The people call him about the Wistig Road abandoned vehicles. But I ran into someone recently that came from California, and their company that they work for, and I'm trying to get more information, but maybe we can look into this, is that in California, if a vehicle is abandoned, it's taken into obviously a holding area, obviously a tow place.
Yeah.
But it goes further than that, meaning, okay, this person abandoned their vehicle. Now there's people that are going to store it in their property. However, they get that VIN number, and the government itself puts these people on. You know how we all have credit checks?
Yes.
So, the government somehow files something that it affects their credit report, so that when that individual goes to get a loan or whatever in California, oh, by the way, I'm sorry you were disapproved because guess what? You owe the government of California $6,500 for a storage fee.
Yeah. No, I get it. So here's the situation that we're facing as a government, right?
Right.
We need to be more. We need to make our technology more sophisticated, because what we're running into is we're having a hard time taking some of what is on paper and digitizing it, and so and also tracking it. Because here's an example, and this is from a friend of mine who had sold their car and even transferred deed and everything, right? And then for whatever reason, whether it was the next owner or the following owner, abandoned that vehicle that he had once had. And then at DRT, when they kind of did what you're talking about, we're going to fine him for abandoning his vehicle. He's like, I haven't owned that vehicle for 8 years. And here's the proof. And so there was no paper trail on DRT side. And so we need to do a better job of digitizing all of our documents and then also tracking it better so we can do what these states are doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? When you do get a hold of Mayor Alec again, tell him I really would like to see the DOE give them some budget to buy for equipment and fuel. But on that same line, you know, I'm a firm believer of our old saying on this island that has been here for centuries is it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
Now, I'm tell Mayor Alec, I'm willing to don my pants, my bush cutting pants, and my bush cutter and my gas to help these villages out. But our mayors, like he says, we've got to be creative. And I want to see, you know, companies within villages or businesses, mom and pop stores, and the parents and friends and you know, of these students, families, to, hey, let's all do our part. Just like I said before, prior to the school opening, hey, we're willing to go help the school get ready to open for these inspections, but not at the last minute. So same thing with the schools. I'll be more than happy to help cut grass, but we got to get the support of the people to raise our kids too. So the mayor, I'm there for the mayor, but I think GDOE, if they can't cut their own grass, then and they're asking the mayor to go back to doing it, give them some money.
Yeah. So I know
we
also.
all know the mayor got the smallest budget.
Yes, they do. Yes. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Thank you, Pauly. Have a good day.
You too. Adios. Is Mayor Alec on the other line?
I think this is him now.
Okay. I guess we need more training.
We need practice.
Okay.
I'm here.
Did you hear it?
But I want to chime in.
Yeah, go for it.
I did. I heard. I was on YouTube. And you know what? Joe's right. And that's precisely my point about getting other people to help. And it's really only for this fiscal year. Because
Mayor's still here. He's still here. We're good. Mayor Alec?
Are you there?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I guess what I'm saying is that for this fiscal year, that's all I'm saying is asking the mayors to just be prepared to help this fiscal year somehow before we get to July and August, so that the grass is not, you know, overwhelmingly tall, where we could get, you know, the average resident to come and help us with their equipment and their supplies, so that we can just get the school cut in one Saturday or one Sunday. And hopefully we don't have to come back for another month or two, right? But just so that we're prepared to have an answer and to be proactive in the community. Not that it's our responsibility, and not that we want to take it away from GDOE. We're hoping that they figure it out on their own. But in case they don't, and they probably won't, we'll have to I'm asking the mayors just to work with the PTOs and to work with residents like Joe and anyone else who's willing to come out on a Saturday with advance notice. I mean, what I'm saying is, okay, on February 6th, we're planning to go to, School Z and help them cut their grass. We're asking for volunteers. We're asking you to bring your lawnmowers and your bush cutters and a little gas, and let's cut it, and we'll be done.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of what I'm saying, just so that everyone has time to plan for it. We come at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and get it done, hopefully, before lunch, and then everyone goes home. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Not so much a plan to take over, just in case.
Sure.
Is what I'm saying.
I can respect that too, and by no means are we trying to say that mayors don't want to do the work. Absolutely, they want to help. That's the whole. They want to help the whole jurisdiction. What I'm saying too, though, and I get the frustration, is you said it at the meeting, and you've said it before, that this is an ongoing issue every year, every time, that we have not solved this. And so, yes, we go out as a village, and we have been. I've done it so many times when my kids were even at Dodea. Anytime there was a call out with the PTOs, we're going to go. When they went to public school, when they were at Mount Carmel, when there's a call out, we are there doing it. So the thing is, when people say, "Oh, like it was before," I'm like, yeah. If only it could be like how it was before. But the reality is, we are not where we are as a people, as an island, as a community. Socially, we are not how it was before. Sure. Things have changed. And yes, I would love to go back to where we were more close-knit family, but look around. Look at your neighbors. They're not the same neighbors.
Yeah, right. That's sure. And that's that. And you know what? We talk about that in many other aspects of our lives and in our communities about what it used to be. Mm-hmm. I mean, even in social media, you see a lot of memes or a lot of reels and stories about what it was like in, decades ago. And we can dream about how we want it to be that way because life was good. Mm-hmm. But we live in a new generation and we live in a new age. Can we expect the same? I think we can expect the same, but with a different approach, perhaps.
Sure. Well, and then also when they're divvying out budgets, like then figure it out too. Like we have to do better with what is given to us and across the board with all the agencies.
I mean, and the thing is, what's so hard? I mean, when you tell the mayor you got $40,000 for operations for that year, you got to figure it out. You don't just let somebody suffer. Mm-hmm. And if you get that far, then you try to figure it out, right? You don't just. And so that's what I don't understand is why can't GDOE figure it out?
Because even
why do they have? Go ahead.
The MTM Mayor Rudy Paco, right? My mayor. Yep. He brought up another solution. He said, look at what California did. They used the inmates to fight the fire. Can we pay the inmates? And they paid those inmates to fight the fire in California. Can we pay the inmates to cut the grass? So throughout your council meeting, I'm watching mayors provide solutions for another agency.
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like, we don't. I mean, I always talk about how much we get paid, but everyone talks about how much we get paid. Well, what about them? There's so many of them that get paid a lot of money to do what? So, I mean, it just gets frustrating, right? When you get to when you have to figure it out for someone else.
Sure.
And when you have to do their work, right? So, we can go. I mean, I'll turn blue in the face talking about it.
No, I get it. But then also Senator Robert Hoffman, he laid it out he laid out the whole situation that is going on over at GDOE with how they're paying for the maintenance contracts. And just saying, simply put, they are paying they're not paying enough. There are businesses that don't even want to finish up the contract. And this is true. It is on the record that they are canceling their contracts. Why? Because they're having to do too much of the maintenance or too many rotations of the schools or too many schools, and they're not covering living wages. And so there are other contracts out there, for example, the military, that's paying way more for sometimes less work. And so
and that's what I'm saying too, right? It's like that's the reason, that's why we didn't want it when we had it, because you were paying us pennies to do the work that cost more than that. And it was the funding. It had always been the funding. Like why and who is creating these purchase orders? Who's creating the scope of work? Because they're obviously not doing a good enough job, because you're getting a quotation for someone to cut a certain amount of grass when you're not talking to the people that have to cut the grass, that are responsible for the maintenance. And if the principal is accompanying these people who are doing the quotations, then it should be the principal answerable for why they're not cutting the rest of the grass. And I'm just using principal as an example.
Sure.
But I don't know who it is, right? Whoever the employee is who is obtaining these price quotations, that's the person that should be responsible. Because if you're obtaining a price quotation from a vendor, you need to tell the vendor how much they're going to cut, where they're going to cut, how many times they're going to cut. And if you're not doing that properly, of course they're not going to quote, properly as well. And we're going to get the crappy end of the deal. And nobody's going to want to do it. That's why the vendors quit. That's why we quit in the beginning. And we'll do it. We're willing to do it if we are a part of that process. But if we're not a part of that process, I don't want to entertain it, because who's going to cut the rest of the grass? You're going to rely on somebody else. You're going to blame it on somebody else. And that's what I mean. It's just grass cutting. By golly, you have to educate our children. You can't figure out grass cutting. How are you supposed to educate our children? I mean, it's crazy how, an institution that is supposed to be of sound mind cannot figure maintenance out. Even the maintenance of the facility, the schools, they're going to wait again until July and August to say, oh, we need to paint our school. Well, what the heck happened? Why didn't you do it in January, February, and March? I mean, do you just not know that you have to maintain your school? And how many times do you clean the bathroom? Do you clean it every day? I mean, gosh, if you don't clean your bathrooms every day at a school, that's just crazy. And if you are, then you need to employ people to clean it properly. And whoever is supposed to supervise it, they need to do their job and supervise the maintenance of the building. So come July and August, we are talking about educating children and not cleaning up facilities. I don't know. I think that's kind of common sense.
Yeah, understood.
I'm like, I don't know why we all say it. We talk about it all the time, and I'm like, man, who do we pay over there, and who's ultimately responsible? Is it the superintendent? Is it the board? Who do we hold responsible? And we talk about it. We make this a part of our conversation, because at the end of the day, we're called on and we're asked to help. And I just, it's like I said, I'm just looking out for the new members and making sure they're not, caught off guard, because come, the summer months, they're gonna be even more short. Chalampago is gonna have way less than $8,000.
Right.
What is he gonna do? Right.
Yeah.
So, hey, he's come in with a new, a new sense of humor for that office.
Sure.
So I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but
yeah.
We're
going to try again. Can we?
Okay.
We're going to try again. Rand's on the line. Let's see if this works. Okay. Hafa Adai, Rand.
Hey, Chief. I know all about these contracts.
Is the mayor on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, it worked. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got everybody. Okay, because we used to do this. Smoojow, we did a lot of contracts with the port, all over the place, university, everywhere. But the deal is, if you have a contract with the government of Guam, you have to pay federal wages. You have to pay federal wages, and you have to do health and welfare, and it's an amazing amount of money. Our kids who work at a SMU job, because we have government contracts, they get $16.20 an hour plus $4.98 for health and welfare per hour. That's government contracts. Joanne Brown made the bill. It's a law. It's very explicit, and what you can look it up in the Federal Registry is about how much you pay for whatever job it is, and that cost right there is a clerk one for that cost.
Okay.
So you're talking close to $20 an hour. Our 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids get, because we have government contracts.
And that's to cut the grass?
To cut the grass, it's also federal wages. However much a federal wages list for lawn care, and if you look at the Federal Registry, it'll come up, and you can look at federal wages, and you put in occupation, and it'll come up. You'll see these guys got to pay that, and I know they're not paying that. And so when it comes time to get audited, or they do it, and tax, revenue and tax, they'll take them down, man.
I hope
so. That's probably why they don't want to do it, because, like, if you put down, the actual cost, to do this,
right,
and what and DOE's offering, or whoever government agency's offering, they can't afford to do it.
Yeah.
If they're really following the law.
We got to look at those contracts, right?
Well, it's a government of Guam contract. It's like a federal government contract. You got to pay federal wages. And that's your responsibility. And the people doing the work deserve it, because that's the deal. We want to get a cost of living, for these folks, so they have something to help out, instead of getting 5 jobs or something. They can get one good job, and
that's
that's the cost. So these guys even if you have so I'm not how it would work if you have the inmates doing it, but I don't think the DOE is going to let the inmates cut the grass up.
Well, on Saturday, on Sunday.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it'd have to be.
Mayor, you want to chime in?
What's that?
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I think the wages. I think that's understandable, and whether they apply that to their contracts or not, I'm unaware of it. But I think the missing component, I think, for that is still going to be the scope of work, because whether you pay whatever the wages you pay that worker is one thing, but also the scope of work. That's the important thing. And that's our issue as mayors, because if you're told you only cut within these walls, then that's all the contractor's going to do is cut within the walls. But if you're not asking them to cut outside the walls, because that's the sidewalk, and that's not part of our contract, we're not going to cut it. So that's where we come in, because now that they're not cutting outside the walls, the mayor's office is going to cut the outside of the wall. I'm saying that at the onset, the entire project the entire scope of work should have been included, and which means cutting inside and outside, as an example. And I'm saying that if we're going to be involved in it, then the mayor has to be included in that request for quotation and developing that scope of work, so we all are on the same page as to what areas need to get cut, and making sure that those areas are cut properly.
Yeah, so and Mayor, also, your people who are doing the cutting, because the people if they get a contract to do it, they no doubt get paid so much more than your employees do.
Oh, for sure, that's for sure.
And there you go. Your employees are going to go, well, hey man, if these guys are getting federal wages, I should get federal wages too.
Agree. And I think that's why we're saying, Rand, we're saying that if that's going to be considered for fiscal 26, then the mayor's council, we're willing to consider it, but we have to know the entire,
scope of services. No, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how you base it, what your cost is. No, absolutely. Yeah. And that should be very clear. Anytime we did anything like at the WIC building, or anything that we know we have to do sterilization, or at the port. Yeah, even when Madeline was there, we even got the beautification for Agate Marina.
Yeah.
We painted it all box white, right?
Right.
That was the magic. So we wanted to take it a step farther, because it was, these guys, everybody feels good about what they do because it looks so nice, right? Every time you cut your grass, you go, wow, it looks really nice. But yeah, no, and you know, it's something, but I know it's very, very, overlooked. Is if if you have a GovGuam contract that you have to pay federal wages, you know, and your Department of Labor, you know, they find out you're not, you know, then they'll do back wages on you, you know, and penalties. So, yeah.
Thanks, Ran. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care.
Adios.
Absolutely. Adios.
Hey, President, is there anything? I'm going to let you go, too. Is there anything else that you want to share? Anything? Got to get off your chest.
You call me back if there's something else that comes to mind. I don't know. I gotta go home. Not just kidding. I'm back in my office.
Well, I appreciate the conversation always. Thank you so much to you and all the mayors, your council. It was, you know, like I said, just watching and seeing the different voices and the new faces speak up and showing their concern and wanting to help, not just with their own village, but with a lot of the projects that are happening throughout the island. I'm impressed. Thank you.
Thanks too for your support. You've always been good to us too.
Absolutely. Well, you guys do.
Have a good rest of your day.
I will. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Adios. President of the Mayor's Council of Guam, Pika's best for since forever. Mayor Jesse Alec. 2:58 in the afternoon. So also the abandoned vehicle issue too, real quick, because we'll take the break when we need to, because we're gonna get Pat Perez, the general manager of Subway, to come in, talk about all the new meal deals, like $8 meal deals. Heck yeah. So we'll break in just a bit, but we have an abandoned vehicle problem. And there are so many contributors to it. The military also has to help address it. And I know that the Mayor's Council have had these talks, because what happens too, and I've seen it, where they leave, their tour is over. And where does the vehicle go? It stays in a parking lot. Even worse, on the side of the road. But it's also us. We're also contributing. So another part is the government is not helping the situation with providing reliable public transportation. We have terrible public transportation. We're not bicycle friendly. We're not even walker friendly. So, unless we really figure out how we can do better with our sidewalks, our bike lanes, our public transportation, we're never going to solve the abandoned vehicle crisis. 3 o'clock on the dot. We are KGUM FM in Hagåtña, Guam.
KGUM FM, Hagåtña, Guam. The sound of Guam is Wave 105 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. More than half the country is facing an Arctic blast, including unprecedented conditions for the Deep South. And there are at least 4 storm-related deaths, 2 in Austin, Texas, and 2 in Dale County, Alabama. CBS's Skylar Henry is in Tallahassee, Florida.
As snow creeps into the Florida Panhandle, 5 inches of snow in Pensacola has set a record. In Tallahassee, emergency management crews are concerned about elevated roadways that can quickly freeze over.
Snow is not a common occurrence, so we don't have the magnitude of equipment that you have in the northern state. We don't have the salt, but we do have sand, and we'll use sand to help maintain the road surfaces to the best of our ability.
Houston and New Orleans have also been hit with snow and ice. Lawmakers and immigrant rights groups have taken or say they plan to take legal action against President Trump's executive orders targeting immigrants, including his attempt to end the constitutional right to birthright citizenship. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
You have seen different entities in more than a dozen states essentially sue to start picking apart the immigration policy the president was putting in place with executive action. We're now seeing lawsuits challenging his decision to try to end birthright citizenship, which, let's remind the audience, is a constitutional right, something that was put in place by the founding fathers. It will be challenged in court by all sorts of different entities and a handful of states saying it's unconstitutional. It puts a lot of different families at risk.
President Trump talks about artificial intelligence, announcing Stargate.
A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure.
It's a partnership formed by OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank that will start building facilities in Texas needed for the further development of AI. Some Instagram and Facebook users are upset that Meta, the platform's parent company, chose to turn over the official government accounts that belong to the Biden administration to the Trump administration, including all of the account's followers. The automatic switch took some by surprise, and CBS News tech contributor Ian Scher says,
in the past, some social media companies like Twitter would actually just move those followers to an archive account for the presidency. But that's not how Facebook is handling it this time.
The FDA says 13 house cats have become sick or died of bird flu that is spreading in raw cat food products. CBS's Michael Wallace.
The cases have been in California, Oregon, Washington State, and Colorado. Investigators say it may take several weeks to find the source of the outbreak. Bird flu is especially deadly for cats. The American Animal Hospital Association warns there's overwhelming evidence that raw protein pet food puts the animals and the humans around them at risk of disease.
This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A host for the Grammy Awards has been announced. CBS's Matt Piper says it's a familiar name.
Comedian Trevor Noah has been tapped to host the Grammy Awards again this year. It'll mark his 5th consecutive year hosting the show.
As Taylor Swift moves through the room, the local economy around those tables improves.
The Grammy Awards ceremony takes place Sunday, February 2nd, and will go ahead as planned, despite wildfires that in recent weeks have ravaged huge parts of Los Angeles. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Wicked star Cynthia Erivo is named Harvard's Hasty Pudding Woman of the Year. Along with starring in the smash hit musical, the British entertainer is a 2-time Oscar nominee and an Emmy Award, Tony Award, and Grammy Award winner. Erivo will receive her Pudding Pot Award at the Woman of the Year festivities on February 5th. Award-winning actor John Hamm is the 2025 Man of the Year. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
The county just requested more electric charging stations.
Orders have really amped up at Able Electric.
We need 3 more at First in Maine, and we just got another hotel chain.
It's no shock. Able Electric needs able electricians.
Grocery store wants charging stations, too.
And fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
The best is yet to come. Happy New Year from Wave 105 FM.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And to keep you cool, Pat's also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and based-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
Start the year off right with a fresh value meal for just $8 at Subway. Choose a 6-inch sub from a select menu, add a 21-ounce Coke Zero Sugar, and a bag of baked Lay's chips, all for only $8. The $8 fresh value meal is here for limited time only at Subway. You gotta refresh to be fresh.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and urgent care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Good afternoon. It is 3:07 p.m. and that is your time check brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has something new on their menu, the Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger. Try their deliciously indulgent sandwich made with juicy beef, crispy applewood smoked bacon, savory roasted mushrooms, Munster cheese, and a creamy garlic spread all on soft toasted bun. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
Start your day right with Mornings with Patty Arroyo every weekday morning from 6 to 10 a.m. Then meet me, Pauly Suba, in your afternoon on the bright side. Ride the wave with us on your radio at 105.1 FM or stream us 24/7 at thewave105.com. The sound of Guam is Wave 105.1 FM.
The Bright Side is brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. GTA, we start with you. Sherwin-Williams, ready for a fresh start? Sherwin-Williams is hiring inside and outside sales. Visit us in person Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 671-646-8050 or email your resume to sw@pri-guam.com. Join our team today. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. Online ordering at subwaypacific.com is powered by Good to Go, we deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh. Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Bright Side. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Maritzo in between the Pier Park and the Bell Tower. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Inarajan, and this is in between the Inarajan Pool and the St. Joseph Church. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Chalampago if you are heading to the intersection and that leads to Maimai Road. Slow traffic on Route 3 in Dededo if you're passing the GRMC Hospital heading to the intersection on Route 1. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Hagåtña if you're coming from the intersection near the Agana Library heading to the intersection on Route 1 near the Chief Kapua Park. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Adelup north and southbound at the intersection in front of the Governor's office. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Tamuning southbound if you are heading to the intersection that leads to Route 30 or near the Jack in the Box restaurant. Slow traffic on Route 1 to Muning southbound if you are heading to the intersection that leads to Route 14 or near the ITC building. Slow traffic on Route 10A into Muning if you are coming from the intersection on Route 1 heading to the intersection in front of the Guam Airport. Heavy traffic on East Sunset Boulevard if you're trying to make your way to the airport or Route 10A. Slow traffic on Route 1 to Muning if you're heading northbound to the intersection near the John F. Kennedy High School. And now for your traffic advisory for the week from today, Wednesday, January 22nd to Friday, January 24th. Between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14B and on the sidewalk into Muning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Bright Side.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are that of the show host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff and management of Wave 105 FM, Glimpses Media, or any of our partners. As we strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam. Enjoy the show.
Guam is where I'm from. Tautanu Itamoru, kingdom of our people. Guam, island in the sun. From Jigo to Malesi, this land is all that we know. I said this land is all that we know.
Welcome back. The Brightside right here on Wave 105, 312 in the afternoon. Biba Metkalis. 671-922-1051 is the number, or 1052. We're online, thewave105.com, and our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. I'm now going to watch the 7th ad for CapCut. Yeah. So by the time I'm done with the 7th ad, I should be able to work on a project on CapCut. As long as I don't ever close it. Like I can swipe up and it's like there off to the side, can't see it, and work, do something else on my phone, right? Mm-hmm. But just don't close that window and don't turn off my phone. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do this all over again. Watch 7. You do got to watch it all in its entirety. Okay, there. See, there, new project. What? And now another ad.
No. Get out
what
of
in
here.
The nonsense? So I'm working on this project. New project. There. See? Now I can finally work on something. Obviously, it'll take me less time. We're having a conversation, but, still, it's annoying to just be there. I want to say close to 10 minutes before you can actually, go through those 7 ads and then start working on something. So if they don't fix that situation, or maybe I just have to pay for it.
Yeah. I wonder how much.
I don't know. I haven't even checked. You know what scared me?
What?
I'm not going to tell you which kid did this, but we were able to get our money back.
Okay.
But my kid, when he was in elementary, was charging, buying all this virtual stuff on, I think, my wife's phone. Mm-hmm. And it racked up to $300. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do that? You're looking at me like, no. Oh yeah, I do that too.
No, but sorry, Reese, I'm not trying to snitch you
out.
But she did something like that in middle school.
Middle school?
It was a phone bill. She was talking to a friend in the States, and then when my dad saw the bill, he was so mad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's what happened to all of a sudden we had to pay this, right? And so we fought it though, and there's this federal law that protected us, that was able to get our money back, because we weren't aware. I wasn't aware that my kid's buying all of these digital shirts and hats, and a hat he can't even wear, his avatar. His avatar is he's buying shirts and hats for his avatar. I don't think we even have that game attached to my wife's phone anymore. But that made us very aware, so scared to get him a phone, and then my other kid's a phone. Verna's on the line, yeah? Verna's on. And then Pat can come in while Verna's going to tell us the story. So, Pat, go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Verna's just going to share us a funny story about her kid or somebody buying.
Which son? Because I have 2 sons.
Okay.
So
go ahead and you can put this
whoever,
on.
But they're both gamers.
Yeah.
Just gonna say that.
They're gamers.
Same thing. OMG, and the one I think it was about the same, $300 to $400.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
So, yeah, the federal government, like I said,
Protected you, right?
Did cover us so that we can go ahead and get it back.
Yes.
But it took a while to get it.
Yes.
And my poor son, he still apologizes to this after so many years. You know, they're both in their 20s.
Right.
And he's just like, remember, Mom, when I used to do stupid things like that?
I don't.
It was, for me, it was $1.99.
Yeah.
$2.99.
Yeah.
It kept on adding on, right?
Yeah. I don't even think my son didn't even, financial literacy for what? 8-year-old? He didn't understand the concept of it all. And so he's thinking, virtual bucks, and not realizing that it's costing us real money.
Kids and then us parents, and we're all just, that's how they're getting it. And you got to look it up. Jack Black talked about it. I think it was on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Okay.
Because his was over $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was able to get his money back, I think, because of who he was,
Yeah.
But his kid did the same thing, so it happens to famous people too.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason why I'm so reluctant to purchase anything on an app. Like, buy this app and it gets you more things to do on this free app. And I'm like, I'm too scared because I'm traumatized from when my kid did it when he was like 8 years old.
Right.
I think he was even younger than 8, to be honest with you, but yeah.
I think mine was in elementary. I don't think it was middle. All I know is I think I still even have the bank statements that show it because it just freaked me out. Yeah. And that was my fault for not being on top of it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these darn businesses that, grab kids like that. And, like you said, Avatar and whatever, that's all they just kept on saying, click, and not knowing that it was real money that was being spent.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Thanks, Verna. I appreciate the phone call.
You're welcome.
Okay.
But look it up. The Jack Black one that I'm telling you about.
I will.
It is funny.
I will.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Right now, we're going to switch gears because the director of operations from Subway here in Guam, and he also runs a couple Subway stores in Japan, right?
No, our office provides support.
Provides support.
We're their business development office.
Just bring this back to you. But I saw that you guys are offering $8 deals now.
Right. We just launched that recently. So it's we understand that the consumer is looking for value.
Sure.
And even though you have these value restaurants, now you're getting like these what you used to get for $9 is now like close to $13-14. So
yes.
We're kind of we're kind of bringing that back. $8 so get you a 6-inch Subway sandwich with a 22-ounce drink and either cookies or
2 cookies, right?
2 cookies or a bag of chips. Yeah. And we offer that all day, every day until we close.
I have to say, I told you this before. My favorite Subway store is the one over at the Ganya Shopping Center, right at the corner.
Yeah,
brand new, right?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one I just recently built.
Yeah, it was busy the one night that we went, maybe 3 days ago.
Oh, it's gonna be
nice
even
and busy.
Yeah. So that's where we just did the fresh forward look is what they call it.
Okay.
Yeah. So as we remodel all the other stores, they're gonna have a similar look, if not the newest look. Because after I finished building that store, corporate came up with the new decor package.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, well, too late.
No. So what I did notice about this Subway, right, is maybe it's just because of the space. It's large, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's inviting for me to just stay there and eat.
Right.
Yeah. Because I don't know if that was the logic before, but some of the Subways, not just here in Guam, I noticed even in the States, they're smaller, and so there's not a lot of space for you. The tables are always taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, different designs. Some locations are designed for just like quick in and out.
Yeah.
Just like any Subway, it's a quick service restaurant.
Yeah.
And this one, the square footage, we like the visibility, the corner spot. Even though our original location was just literally 2 stores down, 2 doors down.
Yeah.
So, but we get the benefit of visibility benefits. People along the highway, along parking lot or whatnot. Bigger signs, newer, new look. So something that's more attractive.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. So tell me about this. Did you come up with these names? The Hot Shot Italiano, the Pickleball Club?
No, those are all corporate names.
Real?
Yeah, so it saves us the trouble of trying to generate names on artificial intelligence.
Okay. I was thinking that pickleball is only popular here in Guam.
Yeah, I still don't understand what a pickleball is, but It's we definitely follow the corporate structure of the menu and everything. So with this $8 value meal, we are featuring 3 of these hero sandwiches. So it's not just basically basic sandwiches.
Sure.
Like, you have the 3. You have the hot shot Italiano, you have the pickleball club, and the home run ham. And then on top of that, you can or the choice of either a cold cut trio, the classic, or the seafood sensation, which is the one I recently brought back.
Yeah.
So enjoy that, because we are the only Subways in the world that has it.
You were telling me about that last time we were talking, and so it's really cool to see that the seafood sensation is part of it, part of the $8 meal deal, right? With the 21-ounce drink and 2 cookies or a bag of chips. I was asking you what should I get, right? And I took your advice, and it's not on this one, but I'm glad that I did. It's like this whole, the Subway artist packed a whole lot of chicken on my sub, right? And it has a specific bread too. That's how I noticed what you guys are doing. Like it's already, like you've already even picked out like the ingredients, like peppers. And like, I don't know what that was. It's like crushed up.
Oh yeah, that's the
nacho chips or something. I don't know what that was.
It's a new ingredient.
Yeah.
So you can add that onto any sandwich if you like crunch in your sandwiches.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's definitely, you want to add that. It's called the Subway Crunch.
There you go.
So you get it's basically on the vegetable side. So if you wanted to add it, it's free of charge.
Okay.
Unless you ask for a gallon of it, then we're gonna be like, let me rethink this.
It actually made me, because sometimes I'm like, what else do I want? What else do I want on my sandwich? It made it so much easier. I'm like, whatever that says,
right? Yeah.
I'll just go with that. And it was like a chicken nacho, like nacho cheese. Like, it was so good.
I didn't think nacho cheese would work.
I didn't even think so.
I was like, whoa, this is good.
Even my wife was like, what? And I'm like, it's good. And then she tried a bite of it. I'm like, and she was happy with it. And I didn't even add anything else. I'm just said, whatever that says, do that.
Right. That's the direction we were going to. And that's globally, like with all Subways around the world.
Okay.
We're trying to just make it easier on the consumer and just say, hey, give me a number 5, number 6, like any other quick service restaurant.
Yeah.
When you go to a drive-through, you're like, give me a number 10. Without onions.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the goal that we're trying to make it easier for everybody.
I felt it. It was a whole lot easier for me. Yeah. I was less stressed out.
If you always wanted to add something, like if you get a number 3 and it's lacking something that you wanted, like pickles or something, then you can always add that.
Yeah. I noticed that too. I mean, my kids were still, hand picking. Yeah. I want tomatoes. I want cucumbers. I'm like, wait a minute, but it doesn't say on there. And they're like, you can still.
Yeah, you can still add it.
You can still add whatever you like.
It, if you want to toast it. But some of the sandwiches on the menu are not. They're not toasted. Yeah. But you can always toast it. You can always request for it to be toasted.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed. I thought that was a really. I didn't realize how easier it would be for me just by calling the number and then just sitting back and waiting at the register, and it just goes right through the line. I'm done, and I can go.
That was the other goal, is to speed up. Make it quicker.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to train people of this new. Process. You know what I mean? Like Subway's been known for decades to, you build it yourself, you can choose everything, you confirm it, and then you take it home.
Yeah.
So it's hard to break those old habits, but we're starting to see like at least 50% of our consumers are starting to do it. So the goal is to try to get 100% to just be like, give me a number 10 without onions.
Yeah. Also took your advice on Sandwich Day, National Sandwich Day.
The buy 2 get 1.
Yes, we did that, and so we went to the mobile Subway at the Airport Road, the intersection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We went there because I noticed the one at again shopping center GPO. They were pretty busy.
Oh wow!
And then I drove by the moment, like, there you go, there's one, and there was still one person in front of us too.
Yeah. Oh, it was you were pretty much you were pretty lucky this year then, because or last year, I'm sorry. Because last year the National Sandwich Day fell on a Sunday.
Okay.
And weekends are not busy for Subway.
Sure.
It's more of like the lunch crowd.
Yeah.
For people taking their hour lunch break or whatnot.
Yeah.
So the previous year before that, it landed on a Monday.
Okay.
So that was madness.
Okay.
Yeah. That was straight madness.
Did you see the numbers yet? Who sold the most on that day? Do you know?
I don't, top of my head, but my guess would be again.
Yeah. It was busy.
That's our busiest store. Yeah. Across the board.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be my best guess.
Got it. And so I'm just going to do this quick rundown, right, with the subs that are available for the $8 meals. Hot Shot Italiano, Pickleball Club, Home Run Ham, the Cold-Cut Combo, the Seafood Sensation that you fought so hard for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the tuna. And so these are available at all the restaurants?
Yes, correct. All restaurants here and Saipan.
Got it. And I know it's live already. I know
Yes.
I could have went there yesterday and got this deal, right? Mm-hmm. How long is this going to last?
It's going to be around for a while.
Okay.
We haven't determined when we're going to end it or not.
Cool.
But it's going to, because it's a value meal.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we kind of want to keep that.
I hope you keep it long
for a while. And if anything, we can always change it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like maybe in next quarter, we'll probably change the sandwiches it comes with.
Okay.
But it's definitely going to be around for a while.
Okay. And then you can always, like you mentioned, add $3 and then make that a foot long.
Oh,
yeah?
yes. Correct. Yeah.
Nice.
So even at $11, that's a steal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foot long? Heck
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate it for you coming in. Is there anything else that you want to share?
No, just
got anything
eat
else
fresh.
coming down?
Yeah.
Down the
Well,
line?
Subway's coming out. They come out with a lot of stuff, like
Yeah.
every 2-3 months. So, we are removing the churros and the Auntie Anne's pretzels. We're going to be removing that from our Subway menu soon.
Okay, so better go get some of those
Yeah, try to get
churros
it now.
before
Yeah.
it's gone.
But other than that, every time something new comes up,
Yeah.
you guys are always good at having me on, on the radio.
Of
So
course.
you'll hear from me again.
Yeah. My favorite is the foot-long cookie. Like
Yeah.
that's like that's something that I brought to parties too, and everybody just digs in right there. It's already cut up and nice, and then just make sure I just put one more slice in there just to, and I've cut it to where I can make 12.
Yeah, it'll feed a family of 5 for dessert.
Yeah.
So, I'm not that adventurous to try
Right.
a whole entire
Yeah.
foot-long cookie to myself, but for if you want to bring it home to your family as a little dessert or whatnot, that's a perfect opportunity to do that.
Yep, it actually it made me stand out just bringing that. I was thinking, okay, do I get the sub platter?
Yeah.
And then I was like, let me try getting 3 of these these foot-long cookies, right?
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Oh, you know what would really turn heads if you really want to get everyone's attention is you try the 6-foot-long or the 6-foot sandwich. So that's mainly for parties and everything.
Okay.
You need like a few days in advance because we got to braid bread. This and that's a different style, but it's
Okay.
6 feet long.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought you had to put it in that platter.
No, well, that's one option. Yeah. Yeah. One option is you get the platter.
Okay.
The other option is a 3-foot sub. And
heck
the
yeah.
next option is a 6-foot sub.
I want to walk through a door with a 6-foot sub. That's
Yeah.
just gonna.
If you can
you're
walk
right.
through the door.
Yeah.
So-
I'm gonna do that next.
Yeah.
Thanks for the advice.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I appreciate you,
Yeah,
Pat.
thanks for having me.
coming.
Yep.
Anytime,
All right.
anytime. I mean, you're just right across the.
Yep, I'm just
the hallway.
20 feet
so-
away.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, 3:29 in the afternoon. We're going to take this quick break here, and we'll move on to the next. But do not forget, next time you're out there, especially for lunch, on your way to a meeting, $8 fresh value meal from Subway. You got the subs, right? There's a number of options here. Hot Shot Italiano, the Pickleball Club, the Home Run Ham, the Cold-Cut Combo, Seafood Sensation, and the tuna. This is a 6-inch, and then you add $3 more, make that a foot long. It comes with the 21-ounce drink and 2 cookies or the bag of chips. But I don't know when the last time I chose chips, because Subway, they've got like the best cookies.
I know.
Right?
That's like it's a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, do I want chips or cookies? And then I end up getting cookies.
My favorite is the oatmeal.
Really?
Oatmeal's
Okay,
my favorite.
I would have to get the oatmeal and the white chocolate chip
White
macadamia
chocolate.
nut.
That's my second favorite. Yeah. And you can mix and match too.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take the break. 3:30 in the afternoon, Wave 105.
Monday was a day for remembering Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his work.
Marches, prayer services, and community service projects were among the things Americans did to mark Martin Luther King Jr. Day. His niece, the Reverend Robin Scott King, spoke at an event in Newport News, Virginia.
He would be troubled looking at our society right now, I believe, and only because we've gotten off focus, we've gotten off course, we've forgotten the purpose.
Dr. King would have said celebrated his 96th birthday on January 15th. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Mufasa, the Lion King, won the box office over the 4-day Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, earning an estimated $15.5 million in the U.S. The Keke Palmer comedy One of Them Days took in $14.2 million for its debut weekend. Wolfman, a reimagining of the classic movie monster, was the third most popular movie, despite anything the critics said. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
One pill can kill. Fake pills often contain fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl, equivalent to a few grains of salt, to be lethal. Fake pills are often sold on social media platforms, making them available to anyone with a smartphone.
Talk early and often to youth about the dangers of misusing prescription drugs and the lethal dangers of counterfeit drugs laced with fentanyl.
Stay informed, stay safe. One pill can kill.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the radio stations of Glimpses Media Group, Wave 105 FM and Power 98.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing offers premier services from complete interior cleaning and VIP detailing. And to keep you cool, Pat's also offers factory, ceramic, blacked out, and base-approved auto tinting. For more information, call 647-SLAM.
Buenas and Hafa Adai. Eduquentas is now every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tune in at 105.1 Wave FM to listen to Eduquentas. Eduquentas is a special initiative by Guam Department of Education dedicated to shining the light on the incredible achievements of our students, teachers, and staff. Once again, join us on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wave 105.1, the sound of Guam.
Young surprise! I'm back on Wave 105. It's your girl Nene every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Catch your island music tidal wave with Nene. Brought to you by San Lorenzo Laundromat.
Start the year off right with a fresh value meal for just $8 at Subway. Choose a 6-6 sub from a select menu, add a 21-ounce Coke Zero Sugar, and a bag of baked Lay's chips, all for only $8. The $8 fresh value meal is here for a limited time only at Subway. You gotta refresh to be fresh.
Buenas and Hafa Adai. Eduquentas is now every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tune in at 105.1 Wave FM to listen to Eduquentas. Eduquentas is a special initiative by Guam Department of Education dedicated to shining the light on the incredible achievements of our students, teachers, and staff. Once again, join us on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wave 105.1, the sound of Guam.
You work all day. Nights are for relaxing. Tune in Monday through Thursday for Light Nights here on Wave 105 FM. Designed to help you chill and forget about the stresses of your day. The wave doesn't stop, but it sure can slow down. It's Light Nights, Monday through Thursday nights till midnight only here on the Sound of Guam. Wave 105 FM.
I noticed you've been flipping the channels looking for a place to land on. Well, I'm here at 105.1 The Wave. I'll make you laugh, maybe cry, but you're going to hear everything to get you through your morning. Mornings with Patty. You don't have to listen to me, but I think you're going to want to.
Mornings with Patty on the Wave 105 is brought to you by GTA, Chili's Bar and Grill, Bank Pacific, Subway, Sherwin-Williams Paint, Take Care Insurance, and Pat's Denting and Detailing.
Hi, I'm Silas, and I'm 10 years old. Man, things are crazy these days. Why can't it be like 10 years ago?
The milk was good. Everyone carried me everywhere. And the music was awesome. Maybe milk's $12 a gallon now. And nobody can lift me. But we can bring the music back.
Oh, you wanted it, and now you got it. All the hits from the 2000s back on the radio. Every afternoon starting at noon with Maximum Millennium. Maximum Millennium. Only here on the Sound of Guam. Wave 105.1 FM.
Hafa Adai, Guam, Johnny Atulai here, inviting you to tune in to Vet Talk Show every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the wave of conversation where Miss Bobby and I address veterans' concerns and benefits for you, only on Wave 105.1 FM.
Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the bright side. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Chalampago if you are heading to the intersection that leads to Route 10. Slow traffic on Route 10 in Manilao at the intersection that leads to Route 30 or near, Route 32 or near the McDonald's restaurant. Slow traffic on Route 10 in Manilao at the intersection and near the Santa Teresita Church. Heavy traffic on Route 8 in Barragata if you're passing the Subway restaurant, heading to the intersection and near the fire station. Slow traffic on Route 16 in Barragata at the intersection near the post office and the Guam National Guard. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Hagåtña at the intersection and near the Agana Library. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Adelup if you're heading northbound to the intersection in front of the governor's office. And now for your traffic advisory for the week from today, Wednesday, January 22nd to Friday, January 24th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14, Challenge San Antonio into Manning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the bright side.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are that of the show host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff and management of Wave 105 FM, Glimpses Media, or any of our partners. As we strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back. The Bright Side right here on Wave 105, 3:40 in the afternoon. 671-922-1051 or 1052. We're online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. In the 4 o'clock hour, we usually do Oren Fino tomorrow with Senor Cody Lezama of the University of Guam Tomorrow Studies Program, right? So unfortunately, he's not able to make it today. So what we are going to be doing is we have invited another Tomorrow Studies Program teacher, Fafanagui. Is that what you call? That's a teacher, right? Fafanagui. Does that sound right?
For a teacher?
Yeah.
I think it's
Maestro. That's all. That's the Spanish.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maestro works. Maestro. Oh, we'll wait till he comes in.
Yeah, because there's some words that are Spanish.
Yeah.
But then they also have like the Chamorro.
Oh, yeah.
term.
Yeah. So Nolan Flores is coming in, and we'll have a conversation about what they're preparing, what they've got coming up, especially for like Mes Tomorrow. They usually do the Tomorrow competition, this Tomorrow speaking competition, right? For elementary students. I think it's all the way up to high school now. Have you ever participated?
No. When did that start? Do you know?
Years ago. Maybe 10 years ago?
10 years
I don't know.
ago?
We'll ask Nolan when he gets here. Yeah. I know I didn't. If there was, they never picked me.
Yeah, same here.
You know what was my favorite? My favorite is in tomorrow class was tomorrow bingo. That was my favorite. You didn't get the bingo card?
No.
And then you're matching, you know, and then they're gonna, and then I forgot how it worked. I don't know. I don't remember. It was too long ago. But it was more like matching, right? But there was, the way it was set up was you would still miss it because you didn't know the word for the picture. I think that was what it was, but I forget. That was my favorite game in elementary. So we'll talk to Nolan Flores of the University of Guam in the 4:00 hour. Right now, though, I've got this release from Department of Revenue and Taxation, and so this is an official release stating that the 2025 tax filing season begins this Monday, January 27th. And so Monday, January 27th marks the beginning of this year's income tax filing season. The Department of Revenue and Taxation reminds taxpayers that all filings for 2024 tax returns must be submitted during tax filing season, which ends Tuesday, April 15th. I have been submitting my taxes a lot closer to April 15th lately. I remember I was trying to file my taxes like on day one. When was the first day that I can file my taxes? That's when I filed, because the sooner I file, the sooner I get my tax refund. But now, as my kids are getting older, we can only claim one. So I'm just like, oh, that earned income tax credit isn't what it used to be. Joe Maulik is on the line. Hafa Adai, senor. Hey, senor, is tomorrow teacher in tomorrow Fafanagui? Teacher in tomorrow.
Maestro.
Okay, so never mind. I guess it is maestro. Why did I always think Fafanagui? What does that mean? Is that even a tomorrow word?
Fafanagui. That means a ghost scare you.
A ghost scare me? Wow, I wasn't even close. I was not even close.
I just got my my smartphone.
Can I borrow? Oh, that's so funny. What's going on, Joe Maulik? How are you doing?
Now at Marolo.
Okay.
I just got back from the ranch. I was trying to contact you at the ranch and show you the pigs and the chicken.
Oh, yeah?
Phone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Through FaceTime?
Yeah. Man, you know, that technology. I
Right.
even showed my brother. He's over Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
I show him around around the house. Technology, man, I'll show you something else. Jaffa?
Nothing. Agu?
I got it.
How about you? What's going on? Nothing. I'm just chilling over here.
Yeah, I heard you guys felt yesterday the earthquake.
Yeah, we did. You didn't feel it?
Yes, I feel it.
Yeah. It was pretty long. What, like 30 seconds? 22 seconds?
Yeah, like 15 seconds maybe.
Oh, what the heck?
Maybe.
That was a long 15 seconds.
That did feel long.
Yeah. What were you doing?
Back of the house.
You're
sitting down and listening to you guys.
So you were listening to us at the same time. So
It
when
kinda shake,
when we were getting under the table, you were listening to us.
Right, yeah.
How's everything over there? Nothing. I haven't heard anything, right? Everything's good.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
But
Not
I
even-
was surprised because all the way from up there, all the way down to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was bigger. I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to measure more than 5.5. I thought maybe 6.1, but nope. Nope. So how about your taxes? You're going to be filing your taxes Monday. Monday is when you can file. The first day. When do you usually file? Do you get an extension? I think last year I even had to file an extension. That was the first time in my lifetime ever filing an extension.
I think I only property tax, but not on my annual retirement. I need to go up to retirement and check what's going on.
Me
with
too.
it. I received a letter.
Me too. I need to.
Oh, man. Love letter.
Hey, is there anything for me in there?
Oh, man.
What do you got to go over there? Fix some things, change some things out?
No, I need to figure out, get some information what's going on with, because the property
I was
tax,
correct.
yes, not the land tax
Mhm.
for my retirement.
Yeah. Hey, senor.
Okay.
Somebody messaged us on Wave 105 and said I am correct. Fafa Nagui. That's how you pronounce it. Fafa Nagui is teacher. Have you ever heard it?
Maestro.
Hey, because you've been colonized by the Spanish for too long.
But now we is
I don't know. That's what they're saying. They're saying I got it correct, except the orthography I got it wrong. I
Or is
pronounced
it like Fafanagui, like when you get pinched by like
That's
like
what
when you get
that's what
spooked by the
Senor is
ghost?
saying. That's what Senor is saying. Maybe it's
Maestro is male. Maestra is a female
right,
teacher.
right. But that's the Spanish. That's Magellan.
I'm stuck there too.
Like it's like uno, dos, tres. Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, see, I'm just not pronouncing it correct. Fafa Nyagui, Fafa Nyagui, Fafa Nyagui is Fafa Nyagui. See, I just gotta live with you, senor. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move in. I'll move in with you.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm working. Oh, but FaceTime me. FaceTime me, yeah.
Call you on your working time?
Yes. Yes, call me on my working time.
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow is only Thursday, right?
Right.
Today's Wednesday.
Yes. Yes.
It's not Biba business.
No, it's not. We're going to use another Spanish word, right? Webis. Matis. Lunes. Matis. Metcalis. Webis. Betnis.
Metcalis, Webis, Betnis, Sábado, Domingo.
There you go. See? All Spanish words.
And the police.
Hey, senor, I'm going to let you run. Somebody's calling in.
Okay.
Okay. Esta Dios. Even a Dios? You know, it's funny when I was doing It's a Small World, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a Small World, right? In Disneyland. And then
Right.
they're singing the song the whole time at
when
the
you're in the
very
boat.
end.
Mhm.
At the very end, there's like all the goodbye words, and there's one that says adios. I'm like, hey, it's tomorrow. We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. Hafa Adai. Wave 105.
Hafa Adai. Is this Pauly?
This is Pauly.
Hey, Pauly, this is Jesse.
Hey, Jesse. Hafa Adai.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I was hearing your conversation just now about teacher.
Uh-huh.
Right? I'm siding with the last caller. The
Okay.
only reason why I'm siding is because Fafanyagui means to teach.
To teach.
Maestro is a male teacher, and maestra is a female teacher.
Got it.
Yeah.
I remember that, but somebody was telling me, but the real tomorrow for teacher is Fafanyagui or Fafanyagui. But that's just to teach, not actual title.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
it.
To me, the Fafanyagui means you're teaching. I'm going to teach you.
Mm.
But maestro is teacher. Male, maestra is teacher. Female.
Got it.
Yeah, that's like, primo, prima, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, male, female.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
everybody's a pari.
Yeah, no, not really. No. It's got to be legit, man.
I
It can't
know.
just be a party.
But par, I don't know. But par became like a thing like maybe 15 years ago. But it wasn't
Yeah,
when I was growing up. It was,
Yeah.
hey, dude, hey, bro, Tetlu. But never
Yeah,
par.
Yeah, no, I can't go that route. Yeah, you got to be.
You got to be the
legit.
actual Nino to my kid, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sign here.
Yeah.
You are the primary godparent. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the party, and then the Mully signs too.
Yeah, I think it's the generation right under me that started doing the whole par thing.
Yeah. I guess, they play too much golf. Par 5, par 4, par 3.
18 pars.
Yeah. Too much pars on the field, on the golf course. Anyway,
Yes.
man, Paul, I wanted to share something with you.
Please.
Department of Motor Vehicles needs to go back
Mm.
and, what do you call it, edit the way they test individuals for driver's license.
Okay.
Your driver's test?
Yes.
They got to get rid of parallel parking,
Mm.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I avoid
it serves
parallel
no
parking. I avoid
Yeah.
it too.
Yes, exactly. Right. And I saw, about a week ago down at the parking lot where Academy of Our Lady, and I said, man, I can't believe they're still requiring that parallel parking. I'm a driver's ed instructor, by the way, but they should just get rid of it. Yeah, it serves no purpose. If you pass 3, 4, 5 parallel parking spots, you will not get a ticket.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Yeah, because there's no law that says you need to parallel park. But if you don't stop at the first stop sign,
Mhm.
you don't stop at the second one, you will get a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So they should put more time on the road driving than to actually, and that's half of your test.
Isn't it automatic fail if you don't?
Failure, if you hit the curb.
Right. Or too
Yeah, you hit the tire.
too far, you
Yeah.
get one more chance, right? But if you hit the curb, automatic fail, right?
Yeah, that's it doesn't make sense. Why is it half of the test or almost the whole test if you hit and that's usually the first thing you do before you head out on the road.
Or you bump the tire, then fail.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, and the reason why too, I want to add to that is most vehicles now have cameras,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but even at that, I won't even parallel park if I absolutely don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather walk.
It's not Rev and Tax though that's doing the driver's test anymore, right? It's the driving schools that do the test.
Yeah, the driving schools do the test. and then they do contact hours in the classroom and then contact hours in driving.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do the driving part, you need to schedule your driving portion with another driver.
With another,
school. You can't go to the same school.
Right, exactly. But so DRT doesn't even administer the test anymore. They don't have. There was the guy I remember. We called him Terminator.
Yeah. No, they still do.
They still do?
They still do.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
They still do. But it goes through them.
Oh, okay.
But you just need to have that certificate that you fulfilled
Yes.
so many contact hours of driving and so many contact hours of classroom instruction.
Mm-hmm.
Then the DMV, you get your certificate from the school that you attended, and then they schedule your driver's test.
But with another driving school, right?
No, not
No?
that I know of. No,
Oh.
I think it's still DMV.
Okay.
Yeah, because man, if that's the case, I'll just make my par be the instructor, be the tester. Par. Yeah.
I didn't know DRT still had driving. What? Not instructors, but the examiners. I didn't know they still had those.
Yes. Should be.
Okay. Well, my
You know
kids
what I mean?
went through the whole
That's
thing, so I gotta
revenue for the
ask them.
government.
I gotta ask them. Usually, my wife's like, "Go show your dad your driver's license." So, shows
Go
who
your dad that our party helped you out.
shows how many times I took my kid to the driver's test.
Yeah, but anyways, I just wanted to add that in there. They should just get rid of it. It doesn't make sense.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I avoid it now. I don't know. I've been driving since I was 15, and I have been avoiding.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple of times where I will, but heck yeah, I'm definitely going in and out a couple more times than usual. But I get in there, but I'm not always. I think the last time I did the parallel parking was because the parking was so packed in Hagåtña for one of those events that were happening at Skinner Plaza. Other than that, I'm not going to parallel at all. So
Yeah, there's no need. You're not going to get cited for it if you don't do it.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jesse. I appreciate it.
Oh, and
Yes,
and
sir.
Another thing, man, before we hang up.
Absolutely.
LeBron needs to retire. Man, he needs to retire. Man.
He needs to at least just, take a different role now. He shouldn't be the main guy no more.
No, he needs to retire so that the ratings can go up again.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Who's the guy? SGA? I like SGA. Actually, Wembanyama is fun to watch right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The younger players are, it's their time now.
Yeah.
I mean, really, even Kevin Durant needs to retire.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. Those guys, Russell Westbrook, they need to retire.
Wembanyama.
No more chasing rings, man.
Right.
Just end your career the way you should and move on, man. Yeah.
Wembanyama is fun. Anthony Edwards is fun. Doncic, when he gets healthy, he's fun. But I agree. SGA is he's actually getting in front of the camera more. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, but they should just back it up and let the new guys take over.
There you go. Okay, Jesse.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, Pauly.
Okay.
Stay safe,
Adjust.
my man.
Thanks for calling in.
Cheers.
4 o'clock on the dot. We are KGUM FM in Hagåtña, Guam.
KGUM FM, Hagåtña, Guam. The sound of Guam is Wave 105 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Michael Toscano. 4 deaths have been reported as frigid temperatures grip the South, with a winter storm spreading heavy snow and dangerous ice from Texas to the Carolinas. In New Orleans, Sidney Gliscare says it's the most snow he's seen in 2 decades.
It's been beautiful. I've never seen the city look like this before. I've just been walking around taking pictures, taking videos.
CBS's Lonnie Quinn is tracking the winter blast.
6 inches of snow in Pensacola. New Orleans, 9 inches. But New Orleans, not the biggest number in Louisiana. Lafayette, with almost a foot, 10.5 inches of snow. New York City, on the other side of the coin, only 1.6. Where does the system go? Well, it's to the east, so places like Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, into maybe Raleigh, North Carolina. 3 to 6 inches for you.
President Trump ended his first full day in office with immigration and AI infrastructure in focus. Here's CBS's Erica Brown.
Trump wrapped up his day with remarks about billions of dollars in private sector investment to build a supercomputer that will help develop the next generation of artificial intelligence. The new venture, called Stargate, will start with a data center project in Texas.
CBS News has reviewed an affidavit from the former sister-in-law of Pete Hegseth, President Trump's nominee to become Secretary of Defense, in which she says he abused his first wife. CBS's Nicole Killian has Hegseth's response.
In a statement to CBS News, an attorney for Pete Hegseth said that his ex-wife Samantha never alleged any abuse in court documents or to the FBI, and he called Danielle Hegseth's claims belated and false.
Baseball legend Ichiro Suzuki is the first Japanese player chosen for baseball's Hall of Fame. Speaking through an interpreter.
There was a time that I didn't even know that I would be even getting a chance to play in the MLB. And so what an honor it is for me to be here and be a Hall of Famer.
CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner are also now members of baseball's Hall of Fame. The sound there from Major League Baseball. Climate scientists say the Earth is now releasing more carbon into the atmosphere.
After more than a millennia acting as a carbon sink, global warming and wildfires have turned the Arctic into a source of carbon, according to the latest research published in the journal Nature Climate Change. Researchers say 1/3 of the Arctic boreal region, which contains treeless tundra, boreal forests, and wetlands, is now producing carbon rather than sequestering it. Scientists warn of more changes ahead as the world continues to warm. Tracy Wolf, CBS News, New York.
Fires in Brazil, many deliberately set, consume 79% more forest area in 2024. That could accelerate climate change. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? It seems impossible to find them. Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Well, Netflix is going to cost you more.
Netflix added a record 19 million subscribers during the fourth quarter, pushing its total above 300 million. Add in what the company calls its extra member accounts, and Netflix estimates its global audience tops 700 million. It credits the growth to its content, which included the release of Season 2 of Squid Game, NFL games, and the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. Netflix also announced the price of its standard plan with no ads will rise from $15.49 to $17.99 a month. Its plans with ads will go from $6.99 to $7.99 a month. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Actor Rachel Sennett and Saturday Night Live star Bowen Yang will announce the nominations for the 97th Annual Academy Awards on Thursday. They'll do that at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Time. The announcement was set to take place January 17, but had to be put off because of the Los Angeles area fires. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? It seems impossible to find them. Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Happy New Year from Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam.
Good afternoon. It is 4:06 p.m. and that is your time check brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has something new on their menu, the mushroom bacon cheeseburger. Try their deliciously indulgent sandwich made with juicy beef, crispy applewood smoked bacon, a savory roasted mushrooms, Munster cheese, and a creamy garlic spread, all on soft toasted bun. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
There are so many reasons to say yes to priority banking from First Hawaiian Bank. There's the ATM rebates, the exclusive access, the discounts, the fee waivers. Honestly, I keep going, but I think I'm running out of time. To hear more, talk to a banker or go to fhb.com/priority. It feels good to go priority. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
The Brightside is brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. GTA, we start with you. Sherwin-Williams. Ready for a fresh start? Sherwin-Williams is hiring inside and outside sales. Visit us in person Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 671-646-8050 or email your resume to sw@pri-guam.com. Join our team today. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. Online ordering at subwaypacific.com is powered by Good to Go. We deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh. Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Bright Side. Slow traffic on Route 4 and 10 in Chalampago at the intersection that also leads to Zonia. Slow traffic on Route 10 in Manila if you are heading to the intersection that leads to Route 32 or near the McDonald's restaurant. Heavy traffic on Route 8 in Barragata if you're passing the Subway restaurant heading to the intersection and near the fire station. Slow traffic on Route 3 in Dededo if you're passing the GRMC hospital heading to the intersection on Route 1. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Hagåtña if you are heading northbound to the intersection in front of the Ganya Boat Basin. Slow traffic on Route 10A into Muning if you're coming from the intersection on Route 1 heading to the intersection in front of the Guam Airport. Slow traffic on Route 1 if you're coming from the intersection that leads to Route 14 in Upper Tumon heading northbound to the intersection and that leads to Route 16 or near the Dededo Wendy's restaurant. And now for your traffic advisory for the week from tomorrow, Thursday, January 23rd to Friday, January 24th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14B and on the sidewalk into Muning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Bright Side.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are that of the show host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff and management of Wave 105 FM, Glimpses Media, or any of our partners. As we strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam. Enjoy the show.
I ran into this girl the night before. She reminded me of a golden shore. She was nothing like your average girl next door. She like DVDs, tattoos, and Paramore. She'd say Hafa Adai, como por favor. And I'd say sad dispenser to Gaiki Kulor. And she'd paint colors round the galaxies and more. I ran into this girl the night before. She gave away to light my world for just a moment.
Welcome back. The Bright Side right here on Wave 105, 4:11 in the afternoon. Biba Metcallis, right? Wednesday. TheWave105.com is where we're at online, and we are on YouTube, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. If you're tuned into our YouTube, then you see our guests. I'm scared to even say the word, so I'm just gonna stick with Maestro.
What was it? Fafet Nagui?
Fafet Nagui. So there's the emphasis in the fa, right?
Yeah,
because the two makes it teacher. Because if it's just Fenagui,
it's a reduplication.
Then it's to teach. So Fafet Nagui, teacher.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So similar to like, this is how I learned it at least, right? Kanta and kakanta. Kanta is to sing, and then kakanta is a singer, right? So in the same way, Fet Nagui becomes Fafet Nagui for teacher, right? To teach becomes teacher. Yeah, but you could use either. Maestro.
Right. I mean,
it just depends on your preference. And
I mean, still doing, uno, dos, tres, so we're good,
exactly.
Right? Are you still doing that over at University of Guam? Are you doing both?
Tres?
Are you doing both?
I mostly use that, but yeah, there's some instructors, some Fafet Nagui, some maestros that will, teach either, right? In the same way that Payless has multiple,
right?
They put all three, even the English,
right?
Yeah.
This is Nolan Flores, who is a Tomorrow Studies program Fafet Nagui teacher, maestro, right? Today's day one.
Day one. First day of classes for Fanyum Nakan 2025 spring.
Right. And so I wanted to focus on the whole Tomorrow Studies program, which and then also pivot towards the Tomorrow the competition, right? And what is it called?
That is our Inatsaigan Finot Tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Inatsaigan Fino Tomorrow, and that is elementary all the way up to high school?
Correct, yes. And it's not just Guam. We also bring in schools from CNMI.
That's right. And so that's somewhere close to like Mes Tomorrow, right?
Yes, that is actually set.
You have the day?
I have to make sure I get my dates right. I don't want to...
It's 2 days now.
Yes, 2 days. So March 5th and March 6th. That's a Wednesday and a Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of those days is Charter Day.
Yes.
So I remember it, and maybe it went further back, but I remember covering it when I first started in media. Is one of the first things that I covered, and it was only 1 day, and it was at the University of Guam Fieldhouse.
Oh.
And do you know the history of it? How long has this competition been?
Gosh. I forget the exact, because this is the so many annual. Yeah, because I was helping with this when I was a student at UOG, and that was when it was at the Fieldhouse. Yeah, I forget exactly what iteration it is, but I want to say
at least 10 years,
yeah,
right?
more than.
A little more than 10 years.
It's slipping me.
No worries. I was just wondering, but I kind of wanted to just start with like your origin story, right? You're a Southern boy from Zotnya.
Zotnya rules.
And so elementary, where'd you go?
Elementary, I went to MU Lujan for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah, before I moved off island.
Okay. And then how long were you off island?
Like 7 years.
7 years? You come back for high school?
Came back last half of 8th grade year. Yeah.
Half of 8th
Went
grade.
to IMS, then to Southern for high school.
Were your friends, did they remember you from elementary?
Some,
right?
Yeah.
Because usually if you go to Inlahan Elementary or Marito Martyrs, you're gonna stay with your group, right? All the way up to high school. You hardly ever move up, families hardly from the South.
Move from the South, right? Yeah.
They're rooted in the South. It doesn't happen very often where a family will go and move up to Central or North, right? So chances are it's very likely that your classmate in kindergarten is going to be your classmate all the way to senior
High
year.
school, yeah. That's the case with one of my friends. Even
See?
We graduated together. And when I came back, she said, "You ditched me."
Wow.
Yeah, we're still friends today.
Yeah, but wow. She's missed you the whole time. And then you came back. Okay, so second half of 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And you were at Inalahan Middle School, right?
Yes.
So the mandate was the law was already out though, right? That you have to learn Chamorro.
Correct.
All the way up until 8th grade, and then 1 year of Chamorro in high school, right?
High school, yes.
Yeah, and so again, you go back to Inalahan Middle School. A lot of the culture and the language is pretty, fluid there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, was it difficult to kind of get back into that kind of culture, I guess, or get familiarized with how everybody else's lifestyle was?
I wouldn't say so, because we came back home pretty often, right? So it wasn't like we were gone for a straight 7 years.
Okay.
Right? But yeah, I don't remember at IMS, because I came in so late in the year, taking a Chamorro class. It wasn't until my sophomore year in high school that I took a Chamorro class. And that was it, right? Unfortunately, that was it.
So because I know there were options to do 2 years.
Yes, you
for
could
Chamorro,
have.
right? And that was like my favorite. My favorite was, it wasn't necessarily taking the class; it was preparing for Mes Chamorro. And because you were very active in the planning and the festivities that go along with Mes Chamorro, right? Because back in the day, we could barbecue at school.
Oh yeah, that was during. Yeah, my time.
Did they stop that?
Yeah, the whole issue of they told us for the Guput Chamorro, right? For during Mes Chamorro that we couldn't barbecue. The order came down, I guess.
What
from
year
Central.
was it?
This was, oh gosh, maybe 20.
No, I mean, what school year? What grade were you?
Oh, I think I was a sophomore. Or
So
junior?
freshman year, you experienced it.
Yeah,
barbecuing at school for Mes Chamorro.
And then it came down later that no barbecuing at all. You
Right.
can bring like prepackaged foods, but
Yes.
even like potluck foods, I think we're also excluded.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was the Chamorro, the hut building competition, right?
Yeah, by the different classes,
Yes.
the different villages at Southern. Yeah.
Right. And so I remember taking Chamorro class, and we would spend the whole class
Just building
the hut and hanging out and kicking back by the hut while the people the ones that knew how to build a hut were doing it.
We're making it. Yeah.
We're just kicking back underneath the shade and just chilling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. John Ray wants to get in on the conversation. That's okay. And he wants to speak tomorrow, so get ready. Hafa Adai, Senor John Ray.
Hey, Hafa Adai, Pauly.
Hafa Adai, Senor. Cody Lezama, Senor Cody Lezama is not here, but I invited Senor Nolan too. And
Buenas, Senor.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I love Chamorro classes, because, the Chamorro week there were us in the South, the Southern, and when I was going to Ocean View, we build huts and, celebrate not only the language but the culture. And, one time Southern Night was told that they cannot eat, and they said, I'm going to challenge the DOE back then. And I said, you mean to tell me as a parent I cannot brown back my kids' food because I have to go eat the cafeteria food? And they say, show me a regulation that says I cannot. But maybe later on throughout the years they did a board policy, but the board policy did not cover or prohibit people from bringing in, and that's the fun part, because I know I know not one parent is going to cook potato salad and portion the kids.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
the tomorrow parents are proud when they provide food for their kids. You know, when they say, "Mom, potato salads. Mom, we got to cook red rice," and all of that stuff. So you know, that's the best part, because I don't know any tomorrow parents that's going to cook food to poison the kids. But that's what they were scared of. I said, then, you know, what about the lunch plate? They got kids that got sick. But anyway, hey, well, in reference to tomorrow, the only thing that I'm very proud of tomorrow, being tomorrow, is if you don't know tomorrow, you don't understand tomorrow, and you're tomorrow and everything, but at least you're trying, even though if it's appling or incorrect or what, someone is going to tell you the correct way. And at least you're trying, because I made it a point like this way. I can buy you $1,000 bicycle. But if you don't try riding it, you're never going to learn how to ride it. Okay, so when I say learn tomorrow, try. And the best way to learn tomorrow, and I can attest to Chuck McJohn and the late Joe Cunningham, is the tomorrow music, because those guys are 100% Howley Caucasian, but they can speak tomorrow more than, some tomorrow that are tomorrow. And take Judy Silk Flores, 100% Caucasian, but that lady can speak better tomorrow than most tomorrow that I know of. And, you know, I just want to say, hey, try it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Try it. And, you know, that's the best part, is you got an identity because you learn the language and you got the culture. Viva tomorrow, viva Wave 105, and viva Tori Tautau.
Viva. Esta Jos.
Esta. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So that's kind of where I want to pivot then. And so you've got UOG students enrolling into tomorrow studies, right? And so there are a number of classes or courses that they can take that are not all they don't all focus on the language, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're surrounded by others that are learning the language, it definitely assists their progress, right?
Yeah, like creating the environment where it feels normal and it feels comfortable, and there's not a lot at stake, right? To speak, you're not gonna be chastised for speaking some more, or you're not gonna be corrected in a way that kind of makes you feel mamahlao. It's about that creating that environment where you will be corrected, you want to be corrected, right? But it's gonna be in ways that are a little maybe more careful, right? Or more caring ways.
Sure.
Right. So that's what we've kind of established among our students, among all of our instructors, this environment. And it comes out like in my class, right? Where it feels like a safe space to speak Finot tomorrow. And also there's a lot going on with just our students, right? They're planning their own events. There's Manyalan Marianas, which is of course, brothers and sisters of the Marianas Club, right? What they started last semester is Tagihat. So it's a day where, just try, right? Tagihat. So it's a day where they kind of do a quick tomorrow lesson or a quick Finot tomorrow workshop and it's open to the public, right? Of course, majority of it is students, but that's what it's meant to facilitate, that space for being comfortable in the language and normalizing it, right?
I know Senor Cody Lazama, he facilitates the Oden Finot tomorrow, where he brings in guests from the community, right? I think the last time he brought in the owners of the Tsetlu store, right? Or the Tsetlu brand, actually. And they had just a conversation all in tomorrow over at the lecture hall at the University of Guam's lecture hall, right? Do you guys have a schedule set to continue that in this semester?
Yes, we will announce those shortly, but I think we've so far in the past 2 semesters, we've had 4 of those, so about 2 per semester. And yeah, that's a little bit more of like a formal setting for Finot tomorrow. But what that's meant to showcase really is that anything can be talked about Gifino tomorrow, no? That you can talk about. We had Senor Francisco Camacho, I believe. We had the Senor talk about computers and technology. And, you know, going into that, it was like, oh, I think he's going to switch to English a lot, right? Or I think there's going to be a lot of words that he's going to have to just use the English. But we were all, or at least I was surprised that he stayed Gifino tomorrow for most of it, right? So that's what that Oren Fino tomorrow is meant to showcase.
I hope you guys bring in like a politician.
Yeah.
I want to, I think that would talk about the history of politics, the legacies of governors and senators and legislatures, and that conversation just like in tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that would be fascinating.
Yeah, we had Dr. Underwood in there, but he spoke about Fino tomorrow itself, right? But of course, yeah, there's a lot of people who can come in and talk that kind of story about the politics, because there's a lot of rich history, and a lot of times hearing something in tomorrow makes it that much better, right? To hear jokes in tomorrow, or to hear just the talk story in tomorrow.
And then I don't know if Senor Cody Lizama, well, he emphasized it, that it's even more so what will help is also thinking tomorrow, right? And so do you understand that concept? Are you able to expound on that a little bit more of that way of thinking? Because I know it's almost like when you start to just like think it or move in that way, then it also helps your brain like click.
Yeah, you kind of shift, and this comes from, like we talked about, right, that environment, being surrounded by it, and also just lots of practice and trying and, self-guided reading or whatever, right, practice you may be doing. That shift in going from translating words in English to just knowing what they mean in tomorrow, right? So you're kind of skipping a step in your head.
Sure.
I don't need to reference the English and say this is what it means in tomorrow. I already know what that means when I hear it or when I want to say it in tomorrow, right? And I think it comes naturally if you keep practicing or keep using words, no? Yeah.
I was speaking to a court translator. I was interviewing a court translator. He actually translates Chukis. But he was sharing the dynamics of translating and whatnot, right? And a lot of times in their language, they don't always translate to a common word in English. Like, we don't have a word for truck or vehicle, but we have a word for drive. And so as long as we're, bring that message across to the person that we need to translate to, then you can have a conversation that they understand.
Yeah.
So it's not always having to say something in tomorrow and then I don't have a word for that in tomorrow, so I'm going to say the English word. For him, I don't have a word for that in Chukis, so I don't need to say the word in English. I'll just say something that reflects that in my own native language.
That has the same meaning, but it's not verbatim translation, right? Yeah, I think I experience that a lot when I would ask my grandma to translate something into tomorrow, right? Or she'll tell me to try it, then I'll do it, and then she'll say, "Oh, tomorrows don't say that." Right? Yeah, that makes sense. I understand what you're saying, but you don't say it like that, right? So there's a lot of those little That's why I couldn't tell
Yeah,
you.
okay.
It's like 20 some.
Wow.
25 maybe.
Okay.
Let's go with that. We'll just call this the 25th annual.
And so from 1 day to 2 days, and do you have how many schools are signed up already? And is there an expiration date to sign up?
Yes, so the deadline is this Friday, the
Oh,
24th.
wow.
So
I'm glad we got you on.
yeah.
So this Friday, and then so it's open to all schools, public, private, charter.
Correct.
Okay, and how do they?
And it doesn't have to be. It's not just schools that have language programs. Even if there's like a club that is kind of language, tomorrow focus, they're welcome to join. Right, a club at a school. The competition, the categories are pretty broad. So I think students will find that, and even teachers will find that their students can participate somehow, right, in these categories.
Because there's like a spelling bee competition.
You want me to read
please.
the categories, Pauly? So for Escuela en Elementario, right, elementary, there's uma historia, storytelling. There's sinangan, oratorical. Zininga, which is drawing. Koron Famagutan, right, so children's choir. And then for Escuela en Talo, middle school, we have sinangan again, oratorical. Rinisaden, poema, poetry recitation. Lalai, chant. Lahina kakanta, Zampalawan kakanta, male, female singer, right? And then for Escuela en Takilo, high school, sinangan, oratorical, proficiency. So there's that proficiency one. Lahi, male and female singer again. There's cantas and baila, song with dance. And then this one might be this is especially for the high school audience. It's competention biju, so competency video.
Wow.
Right? You're supposed to, and this shows that tomorrow can be used in all these different formats and platforms, right? Even with digital videos or filmmaking, right?
It has really evolved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so elementary, middle school, and high school?
Elementary, middle school, and high school. So that first day, March 5th, is elementary school. And then March 6th is middle school and high school. Yes. And you can visit. I can pull up our link real quick. Hold on.
Sure. Oh, so while you're looking up at that link, what can parents and teachers and even students that are watching now, what can they expect from the competition? Is it one of those things where you need to audition for? Like, how do you represent your school?
Well, for us, we're leaving it to teachers and schools to identify their students, right? So some schools are choosing to do like in-school competitions to decide who gets to go to the competition and represent the school. I believe the CNMI just completed its own competition, right? And I want to say that was district-wide, CNMI PSS. So there's not auditions to join, but maybe the school might decide to do that. It's just up to the teacher and up to the school. So that link is... Sorry.
No worries.
You know how to work that? Linktree?
Linktree? No, I hate Linktree.
Oh,
that's on the...
Okay, it's linktr.ee/tomorrow studies. And there you will see the link to register for Inataigan.
Okay. And that's...
I can send you that link.
Yeah. That's... Linktree is usually like on an Instagram, right? On the bio? Like where's the Linktree actually at?
We can have it posted on the college Instagram.
Okay.
College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences.
And we usually
I will
find
send you the
that
link
on the bio, right?
Correct.
All right, and it's 2 days, and it's usually it's not both days. It's a 2-day event, but elementary is usually like on one day, and then middle and high school is on day 2 or whatnot, however you guys are doing it, right? So when we say it's a 2-day event, that doesn't mean that your kid is going to be at UOG for both those days, right? Or will they be on both those days?
Elementary first day, middle school and high school that second day.
Got it.
So they would just be there for that one day. Yeah, and last year I think we had, I want to say, a record number of schools, or at least it felt like it in the time that I've been at UNG. Because we had so many of the classrooms filled up at the college. Yeah. I think the lecture hall was so full we had to offer live streaming.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's always a lot of students. Like I said, students come in from the CNMI. We get the charter schools involved. We get the private schools involved. And of course the public schools, right? And it's just an opportunity. The students, some of them practice their skill or their performance for months, right? Or for weeks. So it's nice to see them present that,
right?
Not just within their school, but to everyone else, and to make it a competition, right?
Absolutely.
A better way to showcase it.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for content in Chamorro, that's where it's at. Like I guess because I'm already thinking ahead, do you have to get permission if you're a content creator, if you represent media? Do you have to get permission to film? Because that's a lot of minors.
Yeah, so we're asking that schools, when they register their students, they complete that media release and also the liability waiver form for each of the students, right?
Do you have to have credentials to film?
I'm not sure. I can get back to you on that.
Yeah.
That may have to run through.
Right. Because that's like I was stating before, I think that is the absolute opportune time to go collect content in Chamorro. This Chamorro competition for, our nennies are going to be there. It definitely is going to, you're going to attract a lot of people to your social media accounts, right? Yeah. But also not at the expense of breaking any rules, though. So I just want to make sure that those that are listening, understand that they probably should still get in contact with you guys if they plan to put something together. Obviously, it's free publicity, but I think
that's a good point.
When you're talking about students and whatnot, right, and kids,
we
and
have permission. To be careful. You're right.
Yeah, but I hope that there is an opportunity for at least those with the credentials or internal to document all of that, and have that archived and whatnot for future generations to watch, or just to watch it back and be entertained.
Yeah, because the students
and learn.
Prepare these things themselves, right? Like, let's say Sinangan, they're preparing, or Umestoria, they're preparing the story themselves. Yeah.
It's exciting.
There's
it's one
a lot
of my
that goes into it.
It's one of my favorites. It's just too bad that it happens during the workday. Like, I wish it was on a weekend, because I just stay there the whole time and watch. I was inspired just by the GDOE competition. I think it was GDOE that was putting it on at the Ganya Shopping Center.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a Chamorro performance competition. I think it was GDOE that put it on.
Was the one last year?
Yeah, it was at the Ganya Shopping Center. And just that, at that level, it was very entertaining to watch, right? So I can only imagine, like, this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I heard the performances there were so intense. They broke the tiles, right?
Oh, no.
Something like that.
Oh, no. Hopefully they get invited back. But there was something else that I wanted to ask you now. I think I forgot. I imagine you're going to get more. I imagine more and more classes are you're going to get more participation now that you have 2 immersion schools in Guam, right? I mean, you've got the GDOE immersion Chamorro immersion class over at PC Lujan, and then now you have the Chief Harao Academy.
Yeah, we even have schools doing like bilingual education, right, in Chamorro. I believe St. Francis.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm not sure any other schools that are doing that, but
yeah. And then I know there's Mount Carmel.
Mount Carmel.
Those guys are heavy hitters over
Always
there too, right? Yeah, and then the other Career Tech, I believe, down south in Hoggett also. Yeah. So just thinking of those schools, and then the CNMI students coming in too. it's going to be. I think you're going to get a bigger crowd this time around. Do we need to do a better job of pushing it out? Are you doing okay with registrations?
Yeah, I think we're doing good with registration. It's just a lot, right? There's a lot of forms, but
okay.
Yeah, but don't let that discourage you.
Sure. So you have a good amount of classes that have already registered.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity to share.
I wanted to ask you about online classes too.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so the Tomorrow Studies program has started rolling out, I believe that was last semester, we started rolling out online asynchronous courses in Tomorrow Studies. So this semester we have...
I'm always confused. Asynchronous, I get that confused. Synchronous and asynchronous.
Yeah. So online, of course, right? Everything's done on our online learning platform, Moodle.
Okay.
And then asynchronous means that it's self-paced, right? So you can work through the course at your own pace.
They're usually pre-recorded?
Yes, usually lectures, of course, readings, right? Sometimes videos. And then usually there's like discussion forums, or you post like video responses, right? And then you have to reply to your peers with video responses. So you still get that interaction that you would get in a face-to-face classroom, just at your pace, right? So, and also it works for people maybe with full-time jobs, or even with part-time jobs. It works for people not living here in Guam, right? So this semester we have 4 online asynchronous classes running. We have CM 101, which is Elementary Tomorrow 1. That's Cody's class, right? We have CM 102, Elementary Tomorrow 2, CM 110, which is Intro to Tomorrow Studies, and then CM 210, which is Tomorrow Arts and Practice. And that one, the topic changes. So the topic for this semester is Cantanta Morita. So yeah, and that's with Senora Terry Flores.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a huge opportunity.
So they're gonna be focusing on female Chamorro singers?
They're focusing on that specific type of style of Chamorro singing. You know, that like that back and forth kind of like, is it rap battle style?
Real?
Yeah. You know the
ciphers?
Yeah.
No, I thought
there's specific tunes that you have to sing, and then the challenge, and it kind of showcases like Chamorro literary skill.
Okay.
Right? And oratorical skill. You have to come up with it on the spot, right? Your response. So you're kind
Why is it called Canton Samarita, though?
Challenging this person.
Do you know the background? Okay. What times are these? Are they usually after work and on the weekends?
Well, online asynchronous.
You're like, no. Hey, boy, I know.
No, they're all respectful.
That's like 80% of your students are older than you.
Right. Let's say not like that.
Hiya, day. 4:54 in the afternoon. We're gonna take the break. Thank you, Senor. I almost said Cody Lazama. Senor Nolan Flores for hanging out with us, learning more about the University of Guam Tomorrow Studies program and all that it has to offer all of us and the world too, even more so, because at the end of the day, these students are going to go out not just and make lives of their own here, but across the globe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much. We'll take the break. Wave 105.
Take a well-deserved break. Have a delicious oven-baked strawberry and cream pie at McDonald's today. Goes great with McCafe, iced coffee.